Alrighty folks, Mr. Maley here. I wanted to show you real quick how to use the if command in Google Sheets for when I want you to do your own example later on in today's assignment. We'll talk more about this in live class on Thursday if you guys have any questions, but it's pretty straightforward. So first what you're going to do is once you get into the Google Sheet that'll be posted with today's assignment, you are going to create your own math quiz. Okay, and the math quiz can come with any questions that you want to ask your students, but I'm going to have you guys ask 5 different questions. They can range in anything from basic adding and subtracting all the way up to algebra if you want to. It doesn't matter. But what you're going to want to do is in the first column here, in column A, you're going to want to click a label. So we'll say these will be your questions. And then for a math test, you need a place for the person to who's taking the math test to put their answers. So in the column right next to it, you're going to put answers. We're going to label that as the answers column. And then, of course, we want this to be graded. We want to let the user know that when they're taking the test, whether they got the right answer or the wrong answer. So in column C here, we're going to put feedback. Okay, so how the if command works, everybody, is in the feedback column. We want Google Sheets to automatically tell someone if they got the right or wrong answer. Okay, so we're going to come back to that here in a second. But let's ask a basic question to someone like, what is 1 plus 1? Okay, we know the answer to that should be 2. And we want the computer to tell someone that if they put the answer 2 into the answer column, they got the question right. If you put the 2, anything else other than 2 in here, they got the question wrong. So in the feedback cell, okay, for C2, what we're going to do is we're going to type in the if command. Now every time we want to get Google Sheets attention, we have to put the equal sign here to let Google Sheets know that we want to put a command in. We want to put a function in. Okay, so once you put the equal sign in, we want to give it a specific command to implement, and that command is the if command. So we're going to use if for the if command, and we need a set of parentheses. Okay, now inside the parentheses, what we're going to put is where we want the location for the computer to start analyzing. In other words, what cell do we want the computer to look at to give the user a right or wrong feedback. So we want the computer to take a look at this cell, right? In the answers column, the user's going to put what the answer to 1 plus 1 is. So we're going to tell the computer to look in B2, and we want to say, hey computer, if whatever's in B2 is equal to the answer 2, okay, if whatever is in the cell B2, right, where I just clicked on, where I just highlighted, if in B2 the answer is 2, then we put a comma. Now we want the computer to give feedback. What do you want to tell the user when they got the answer right, when they put the answer 2 in? And so you could say, great job. Now whenever we want the computer to say something in text, we need to put it in quotation marks. Okay, so you want to make sure that you put in quotation marks almost like the computer's quoting someone. In quotation marks, we'll have the computer say, great job. Okay, so make sure that that's in quotation marks, otherwise the computer will not say that. All right, and now we want the computer to say something if the user gets it wrong, so we put another comma in. Okay, and if the user gets, like let's say they put the answer 3 in instead of 2, or any other answer other than 2, we want the computer to say, well, you should try it again. Okay, once again in quotation marks because we want the computer to quote that. Okay, and so that's what the if command looks like. Once again, make sure that this is all in parentheses for the if command to analyze. The first part here is if the content in B2, right, the person's going to put the answer here in this cell, B, column B, row 2. If that is equal to the answer 2, we want the computer to say, great job. Okay, so it's always what we want the computer to say when the answer is right. That comes first. Okay, what comes second is what we want the computer to say when the user gets the answer wrong. Okay, once again, making sure that both of those are in quotation marks. Push enter when you're done putting the if command in, and right now it's blank, assuming that maybe someone gave up on it. The computer will automatically say try again. But if you'll see here, 1 plus 1, user puts in 2 there, computer will say great job, and you'll see that if the user puts in anything else, like 4, the computer will say try again. You're going to want to do that for 5 different questions, okay? Once again, they could range in difficulty. You can use basic arithmetic like this, or you can ask algebraic or geometry questions, whatever you want to ask. Just make sure that you know what the right answer is. All right, and then make sure that you submit that in Schoology today. Hopefully this makes sense. I'll explain more tomorrow in class.